An expansion of the MCU could very well mean an expansion of Sony's Spider-Verse, one of the most talked about things over the last couple of months, and along with the talks of a few characters, have already been rumored of making an appearance, which is why I'm here today to tell you all about one of the newly rumored characters who might potentially take part in the upcoming Daredevil Born Again series, and with that in mind, let's dive right in.
Get me!
As the Marvel Cinematic Universe grows bigger, both in events that are about to unfold and the characters that have yet to make their debut, it looks like the already confirmed Sony Spider-Verse is following the footsteps of its big brother, because not only did we learn about Sony's plans and how they want to do things with the characters that are still in its possession and have all the rights to use them, for example Venom, Spider-Man, Morbius, and many other characters connected to Spider-Man, we also got the news of some of the upcoming movies that will actually take place in the universe Sony's building, and the upcoming Crab and the Hunter and Madame Web are just a few of the many projects that Sony will be making for their take on the Spider-Man universe, which will likely also include the likes of Tom Holland's Spider-Man that has signed a new 3-movie deal for the character.
I'm sorry, sir, but...
Speaking of expanding the universe, the MCU is not a stranger to exploiting everything there is when it comes to characters and storylines to tell, which is why the studio announced the renewal of Daredevil Born Again, a series that will likely continue Matt Murdock's story after his time on the Netflix streaming platform and the series he took part in before being cancelled. Now, there are still no concrete details about the series and how it will play with things, but it's certain that the actions he took in the latest She-Hulk series with the cameo he made in the last 2 episodes of the series to have some kind of an impact in the story to come, with the series itself probably taking place after the events of She-Hulk, but that's not why I'm here today, am I? Rumor has it that the upcoming Daredevil series will add a new Avenger to the MCU, that is if a certain report is to be believed, which said that White Tiger will be debuting in the upcoming series. But this is everything that has been said about the character, with no further information given about the notion of things or the fact of why the character is even talked about at this moment. Why now? What has changed?
Sounds like a no.
Well, the studio remained tight-lipped ever since, with no additional information given by Marvel Studios, and considering how secretive the company is, there might be something in the works already, but in order for you to know more about all that, maybe it's time I turn my focus toward the character, who's not a famous one, but definitely one the comic book readers know very well. And with that in mind, let's see White Tiger's origins, powers, and history in the comics, and what that counterpart could mean for the MCU's iteration of the character. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Angela Del Toro is probably the most notable version of the character, and I'm saying this because over the years, there have been many White Tigers who took on the mantle of the character, with Angela's take on the character proving to be the most famous one in today's world. She's the heir to a heroic legacy that began with the Jade Tiger, a long-lost enchanted statue from the fabled kingdom of Kunlun. Broken into pieces, the statue's paws and head resurfaced in America, where the Sons of the Tiger used these pieces as amulets that enchanted their martial art prowess. However, when the group disbanded, Angela's uncle, Hector Ayala, took the pieces and was the first one to hit that like button just like you should do if you haven't done so already. But no, in reality, he was the one to transform into the superhuman White Tiger through the pieces. Throughout his life, while wearing the White Tiger mantle, Hector Ayala fought foes such as the Corporation Crime Cartel, as well as teaming up with the likes of Daredevil, the Defenders, Jack of Hearts, Prowler, and many more, with the most frequent ally of the current iteration of the character being Spider-Man, hence possibly the reason why Sony decided to include the character in the universe the company is building, with the character's debut possibly coming to the MCU first, and then along with Spider-Man to cross over to the Sony's universe as his ally, of course.
I'll show you both the benefits of training.
After the identity of the White Tiger was exposed, the criminal Lightmaster and Gideon Mace decided to kill Hector, but not before the two slaughtered his whole family. Eventually cornering the character into an ambush, Hector is nearly killed by Gideon, but was instead killed by Spider-Man, after which Hector decided to retire. A few decades later, the past amulets eventually find their way to him again, which puts him again into action, and not long after his return, he's framed for murder. And despite Matt Murdock's best efforts, he is convicted and was shot while trying to escape the sentence, which later turned out to be wrongfully given to Hector. And this is where Angela comes in, She was a federal agent before taking on the mantle of the White Tiger, but is also the one who volunteered to participate in things under the mask of the character, seeing how many criminals, despite being on the other side of the law, are still wandering the world, meaning that she was ready to fight dirty, and the two characters becoming partners in crime. Throughout the years, the character has been part of many organizations, including the Avengers, a team in which she took part in, but not for long because Angela was quick to notice that the Avengers were not the place for her, simply because of the nature of the character, and is quite similar to Matt Murdock's Daredevil, hence the reason why the two got along very well ever since the start, sharing a similar deal in the world filled with all kinds of people, which is a narrative the upcoming Daredevil series will likely play with, because if something doesn't go according to your plans in the court, there's always plan B, aka take the matter in your own hands, something that Daredevil has been doing for quite a while now, even in the live action, and having a trusty companion through all of it must be a huge plus for anyone, right? Taking everything into an account, the White Tiger character joining the MCU, or rather the Sony Spider-Verse, let's see if not when, then who might portray the role of the character, while also taking into consideration an already established character associated with Matt Murdock, or someone new to smash that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. But no, on a more serious side of things, who will be there to fill in the character's shoes? The first character that comes to mind is Claire Temple, who probably has the most things that show a connection to the character, or Easter eggs I should say, that point toward her taking on the mantle, because at the end of the Iron Fist series, she literally takes some Tiger Claw type weapons while saying, and I quote, "I believe these are mine," a small beat but a clear setup for her future appearance as the character, if there's a room for that. She secretly wants to be a superhero, something Gal points out in the series, which is interesting because Claire neither accepts nor denies the whole thing. One obvious argument against her is that Rosario Dawson isn't playing a character named after any of the existing White Tigers, with her most often than not services of medical assistance connected to the alias of Linda Carter, aka Night Nurse. The other thing I wanted to touch upon is the speculations about Jenna Ortega joining the MCU and how she might be the one to take on the role of Angela Ayala, who would take on the mantle of Sony's White Tiger version of the character, and this comes straight from sources that suggest that after the filming on the latest Wednesday series, in which Jenna portrays the main character, she's set to join the filming process of Daredevil Born Again. Now remember, this is all just a speculation, a rumor, which means that you should take this information with a grain of salt, as it could not amount to anything. And if this turns out to be true, then you heard it here first. See you in the next video.